questions for Coach?
I mean, you got to be pleased overall. Pretty solid effort up and down the lineup. You got to play people a lot of minutes. You got to play the bench, and you get a good win out of it. And now you're 2-0. You know, a nice week to start the season.
And I'm appreciative and thankful for Kentucky State being willing to come in here and play another home game. You know, we lost this game because of the change in the conference, and Stephen F. Austin changed conferences, so we were short a home game. So I was very thankful for them being willing to come in here and play. And but it was a great opportunity to get some players that just need some minutes on the floor. And we're always trying to get better, and there were little things that I think individuals did that I saw that we got better. And you're seeing some of the improvements on a consistent basis now. Like Kenzie's hitting some threes. She's doing a great job of reading those steal opportunities. Maya Pratcher's sitting down and guarding really hard. And so you see some players really showing some growth. I think Casey Hayes even had 6 rebounds. I'm not sure if she had 6 rebounds in 3 games last year. So I'm really proud of that effort. I think Maya also had 6 rebounds. So, but there's a lot of areas where I feel like we, just slowly showing improvement.
21-9, assist, but 21-6, ball movement, a lot of ball movement today, getting the oversized. Was that kind of the focus for you all coming into the season and getting that going?
That's been the focus since day one, is ball movement. And I feel like this team, more so than really any team in a while, really gets the idea that the ball's not sticking. You see the ball move pretty freely. We've done that in our scrimmages. We've done that in our exhibition. We've moved the ball. We just haven't always shot the ball as well as we shot it tonight. And so sometimes that ball movement doesn't look like it's as productive. But we chart contested and uncontested shots, and they're kind of realizing that it's easier to make uncontested shots. And so we're just really trying to make sure we keep moving that ball, moving players, and letting the ball find the easiest shot.
You know, everybody's going to look at that 100 points on the offensive side of the ball, but you had 36 turnovers on defense with 46 points coming off those turnovers. How important is it that this defense locks it down so leads to 1 point on the second?
That's you summed everything up. Like we've always been able to turn people over. We've always been able to get steals. We're pretty consistently one of the better teams in the country in forcing turnovers and getting steals. We've not always been able to turn those into enough points to make a difference, and that's something we're working on in practice. The players are aware of that. They're much more conscious of that. I feel like that we still left a fair amount on the table tonight that we just didn't, cash in. But it's better, and so we just got to continue to. I can give you an example. In the first half, we got a steal. Destiny had a drive. Lexi and me went to the corner. Maybe our most, she or Casey are 2 of our best 3-point shooters, and we get a kick out and we get a 3. Second half, very same situation. Lex doesn't create that pass opportunity for Destiny. We get a pull-up contested jump shot and we miss it. And so there's the exact same scenario, 2 different results. And so we just got to get more consistent with the things that we're good at. But that's it. Like we've always been able to turn people over. We've just not always been able to make sure that yields points.
And your bench outscores them tonight, 50-49. You got to be good. It's got to be good. I know it's only a week, but you're seeing depth, whether it was So or Pratcher or Kadir for a little spark tonight, or even McKenzie coming in when Lexi got
at Indiana State. McKenzie was huge.
That depth, that's got to be good to see.
That was the 2 points that we were focused on at the end of last season. Was 1, get bigger. We just kept trying to box out, but we were just too small. And playing small ball was just, it kind of hit its wall. And then second was add depth. And so I feel like we've addressed those. Now we're trying to make sure that we're playing together. And your point that they did outscore them, but I think the other side of that coin is the more important part. They defended the heck out of. We went through like about a 7-minute stretch where they held them scoreless, from like the last minute of the third quarter to maybe the 3 or so minute mark in the fourth. That group didn't give up a basket, and that's the more impressive part of it.
How important was it to start off fast? I'm pretty sure your first point's like 5 seconds into the ball game off the tip. How important was it to start fast for you guys?
Yeah, we even on the road we had good looks, we just didn't make any of those shots. And so it was good tonight to see for some of those. Destiny, Casey hit some threes, like to see those shots fall in for them. And because they are, I even mentioned in the last that, you know, Casey's not a 1-for-6 shooter and Destiny's not a 3-for-10 shooter. And so it was good for them to kind of see the ball go in tonight.
Everybody but Tia gets in on the scoring tonight, but the big thing is it saw that the bench would seem to get very excited every time anybody would score. Can you talk about the chemistry and how everybody is just happy with somebody scoring and nobody's playing any type of knee ball?
You know, last year I was watching some softball, Alabama softball, and they really talked about Mudita and about finding joy in somebody else's success. And we talk about that often. I've talked to Coach Murph, and we try to make sure periodically throughout the week we talk about, well, I'll show them videos. We had a video, I think, of Saquon Barkley where he was about to break his rushing, his individual personal record, and he told Coach, he said, I'm good. He said, let the young guys play. And that's about being happy for somebody else's success. And I feel like this team is starting to embody that. And when you kind of get that unselfishness about, I want you to be as successful as I want me to be successful, then you have something special. And so I think this team's starting, we're not there every day, but we're moving in that right direction.
Expand on it even a little bit, the energy. I mean, in a game like this, it's easy to kind of see maybe the energy level taper off a little bit. I didn't think it tapered off at all times.
No, and I feel like their energy's pretty consistent on defense. It's not always perfect, and we don't always execute what we're supposed to, but our effort is there. And so we'll continue to work on the execution. And if anything, sometimes our attention or energy on offense kind of fades sometimes, and we kind of get a little bit sloppy, just to be blunt. We get sloppy with the ball, we get sloppy with our decisions, we get sped up, and so that's where our energy needs to stay locked in, that we're deliberate, we're intentional about what we're doing on the offensive end. Defensively, if anything, sometimes we're not boxing out as hard, we're not as locked in on rebounding, but they knew we were going to run if we got rebounded, so they were really locked in to make sure we won the rebounding battle.
The next was kind of interesting. I mean, we talked a little bit media day. You know, Coach Hurd down there at Mercer. Mercer was a nice battle here last year when they played here, but got to be a little fun, but a little emotional at the same time.
It'll be fun to see. It'd be great to see Michelle and Luther. I haven't seen them in a while. I'm thrilled for her to be able to get at a great place like Mercer, and it'll be a great ball game. Like even when Susie was the head coach there, and we had Raneem and Dee and Witt, and we went down there, and I think that game came down to a 3-point ball game even then. And so it's always tough to play there, and there's no doubt that Coach will have them, locked in and ready to play hard, and we'll have to play a lot sharper than we did tonight, but we'll have to match that same energy we had tonight and just be consistent.
19 steals tonight for your team, and at Indiana State, I think it was 20. How important is it to have just active hands on defense?
That's it. If you want to be disruptive on defense, then you got to put yourself in a spot to get deflections. And then sometimes if you read well enough, and I think Casey Hayes has really kind of gotten that spot, and you've seen Kenzie tonight. Really, she showed where if you read it well enough, you'll put yourself in a spot to get steals. We've got some other players that are getting their hands on balls, but they haven't gotten to that point where they're reading it well enough to be able to actually get the steal. And then we got some that haven't read it well enough to even get their hands on the ball. So we've still got room to grow there. But that's part of the defensive plan, is to be disruptive. Sometimes we give up some back doors that we're not intending to give those up. And we have a plan to solve those. But like anything, we don't always execute that perfectly. But I like their effort. I like their energy. I like their team chemistry, and I think that we just got to continue to stay focused on getting better every day.
Anything else? Thanks, guys.
Thanks.